Hello, Andrew. Welcome back to the community. It's nice to hear from you. And the use case that you outlined, it's a great use case for a capability that we provide. It's called the SSH gateway. And because you're dealing with a shared service account, right? You need to deal with it with a shared account solution in this case. And in that case, ultimately, what you want to do is not expose the password to the end user and make sure that the users that are going to use that account are authorized and other users cannot use it. So in here, I'm going to show you with Centrify infrastructure services. Now it is a combination of our Vault software, our privilege service, and server suite, what used to be called server suite. So this is the way we would approach the problem. I have two users. This is my admin. Notice that I have a limited number of systems here. And this is my end user, Stewie, right here. Notice that he can see less systems, right? So we're always continuing to preach the least access model. In this case, I have a Linux system here. And if I look in the accounts as an administrator, what you'll see is that there's a couple of accounts under it. The Oracle account and an account called OP admin that is my administrator, right? If I look from the perspective of the end user, what you'll see here is that there's two accounts. However, if this user needs to use the account, and it's easier to show you here. If I go and say select and request account, notice that the OP admin account requires approval, right? So let's go directly to your use case, right? So typically, when you use the SSH gateway can be used for shell access, and I'm going to use it for this Oracle account. So this is an account that my user does have access to. So notice what's going to happen right away. He's going to be challenged for multi-factor. I'm not going to use a true multi-factor. This is a demo. I'm going to use a security question here just to get through. And notice that the user is going to be asked for their password. And now I can pick which type of access, shell or all file transfer. I'm going to use shell. I'm only using this to just illustrate. So notice that I was able to log in as Oracle without having to see the account. One of the big benefits is that an administrator can always go to the infrastructure dashboard, for example, and they can look at current sessions, and they can watch in real time and terminate it if it's needed. So anything that's going on here, I'll be able to look over there. And if I want to terminate, I can actually terminate the session as well, and it's been terminated. But the use case here is file transfer, right? The SSH gateway does support the same capability, so I'm going to use the same capability here, and we're going to use SFTP, I guess. WinSFTP. WinSCP, there you go. So with WinNCP, all I need to do is connect to my my gateway, and I should be fine. So I'm going to do the same thing. In this case, I'm connecting to this gateway, right? And it's going to challenge me, what's my username? So Stewie, right? And notice that it's asking me again for multi-factor, and I'm going to use my cheat sheet here instead of doing the real thing. And it's going to ask me for my password, right? So now I need to pick the account. I'm going to make it very complex. So imagine that you need to request access for this account each time you're going to use it, right? Or I can use actually the Oracle account, so that's not a problem. So let's go ahead and my host name is, and all I need to do is pick the account. So Oracle, right? And I need file. And notice that it's saying, hey, the user doesn't have permission for this account because the user doesn't have the file transfer permission. So we're still enforcing this privilege. I'm using the long way, right? So you can see the whole thing with the workflow. So they're going to yes. And the reason I'm doing a demo for Andrew. So when I do this, right, and this is obviously the long way, the user is not authorized, but what you'll see here is I can go to requests here, and notice that there's a file transfer request for this Oracle account, right? I can go ahead and approve it, right? and I can make it maybe make it 5 minutes, right? What happens here is that ultimately, if I go to the account and I look at the permissions, right? What you'll see is that Stewie has been granted file transfer for 5 minutes, right? So notice that this is, using access request as well. This means that my user now can actually, go back again. And I hate to do the long way, but that's the way it is. So it will be so I'm authenticated. Now I specify the host name. And the account, in this case, is going to be Oracle. And here you have it. Now I'm in as Oracle, and I can do the transfer and everything. In your case, the group of developers would probably have the access, and it will be approved, so they could use a connection string and not having to go through all the prompts like I did. But it's easier to show you that, and that's one way to solve the problem. Now we're combining the Vault software and the Jump Box with our traditional, what used to be called Server Suite software, and that combines for more capabilities for customers like you.